Hello everybody and welcome into part 2 of building the Lego Avengers Tower. Of course, here is part 1, day 1, all done here. Of course, we have all 10 minifigures, one little micro figure, a side build, and of course the first 2 stories, which we went over in the part 1 video. Of course, going into part 2, this is our booklet right here, definitely significantly larger, and a ton more bags than the last one, which is going to be fun, of course. As we can see, this is going to take us to the top floor, which is going to be crazy. Of course, with this video, at the end, I will go over the minifigures, the build itself, as well as all the Easter eggs in the booklet and on the build itself. But I'll see you guys. All right, and with booklet 2 out of the way, here is what we have. This thing is massive. It doesn't all fit in the frame right now, but we will break it down section by section, going through each minifigures introduced in this section and all the Easter eggs introduced in this section. Of course, floor 1 and 2 were in the first booklet, but now we are on floor number 3 here, which looks incredible, and it is Tony Stark's lab. However, starting off with the figures, the first one that we build for this section is the Hulk, and this is the newest version of him, of course, with the removable head, which looks crazy. And of course, this is a exclusive version, this one with the smiley face, which I think looks really good. Of course, this hairpiece does come in the 2 newest sets from August, but overall, I just love the new design for this Hulk. Of course, the shorts look really, really good in that gray, and the whole figure looks really nice. You have the 4 studs on the back, which isn't anything different from that Thanos figure that we got a couple years ago, but it is really nice to have an updated Hulk. Of course, we also do get another Chitauri soldier here, nothing different from the one from bag 2. However, we do get our second Iron Man figure, this of course being the Mark 7, being also battle damaged, which I think looks really cool and ties in to floor 3 very, very well. Of course, underneath isn't a Tony Stark head, it is just a blue transparent head, showing that this could be in Sentry mode, but I just love the design of the torn up battle damaged armor here with, of course, all the weathering so that you can see the metal underneath, which looks really good, especially with that shine there. Of course, the legs actually don't look damaged whatsoever here. However, that torso is just mangled up there, of course, around the arc reactor right there. As well as this helmet here, too, which looks crazy. Of course, there's a dent up in the corner there, the scratch over the eye, and it does carry on to the back here, too, which does look really, really great. And now for the lab. Here it is. It is relatively small. However, it does hold a lot of Easter eggs and secrets in just this tiny little space. Smack dab in the middle of the build here, we have a little stand for Tony's suits, I guess, for him to be working on, as well as dummy right here, right in the corner, which he can move up and down. Of course, you can remove him. He is kind of a figure in the set here. He does attach to this hopper tile, actually, right onto there, which is very nice. Of course, in the back, you can also see another elevator. And man, these elevators are crazy. Actually, behind it, as you can see, that I probably won't be able to get to when I'm just showing you guys off the second part of this, is the fact that behind this third time building an elevator, there's a little $100 bill, of course, because we are building Tony Stark's lab, which I think is actually kind of cool. Moving on from the elevator there, of course, we also have all these screens in here. Of course, it is a bit hard to see, of course, with the backdrop, but I will try and make it as clear as I can here. On the left here, we have a little Quinjet schematic right there, hovering above there with, of course, a picture of the Black Widow right there, of course, with a few other schematics there, as well as right in there, if you guys can see. To get a better look, here is a little DNA panel here, of course, probably as a nod to Ultron and how he fuses with his new vibranium body, which of course does end up being sticking to the left side here. We also have a fire extinguisher in the background, of course, as a nod to Dummy, who is always putting out fires whether they are there or not. That is actually one of the things it says in the booklet. As well as we have a Roxxon can. Of course, this is a famous Marvel brand in the comics, and it is nice to be featured right in this set. As well as on the wall here, spinning it so that we can get a better look, here is a little workbench for Tony Stark, of course, right on the desk there. You can see what I assume is a Iron Man figure, as well as a little coffee mug in silver, and right above it is the arc reactor. I believe that is proof that Tony Stark has a heart, which I think is just a amazing attention to detail here, as well as I love that glitter piece right in the middle there. Of course, in the desk right here, you can get a couple of little things from inside. In that first drawer are some cookies, and in the second drawer, if I can get it open, is a $100 bill. Of course, moving back to the wall, we also have a hologram of the Rescue Mark 50 armor right there. I will take it out so you guys can get a better look at it here. Here it is. It is a sticker piece on this translucent blue panel, which I think looks really good. Of course, it is labeled Rescue, and it says 3000 right there under the power of the arc reactor. Of course, a nod to I Love You 3000. Of course, behind that is a little schematic on Loki, as we can see, as well as an arc reactor schematic right above that, which I think is really cool. And the final detail on the floor is a blueprint for Ultron, which is amazing. I would have loved to get a helmet for him in the set. However, we do get a minifigure of his Mark I version, which is really nice. On to the next figures that we get for the next level. The first one is Black Widow, looking amazing, and I believe this version was exclusive to the set. However, now it is in the Leviathan set, but this one does come with leg printing, which I think looks really good, especially paired with the arm printing here, which looks amazing and is, I believe, the only figure in this set to feature arm printing, which is just amazing. The gun itself is a little weird. I'm not a huge fan of it. I would have preferred the Goon guns. However, I see why they didn't use them, as Falcon has them. But overall, it is a pretty basic figure. We have seen this version before, of course. We have the face print, which has been used on multiple characters, however, most prominently for Black Widow, and of course, her signature hairpiece. Of course, there's also a second expression on the back, and a very nice figure. And the final figure for this section, Wong, which is a little weird why he's included. I never really understood it. In the manual, it says that this is the only way they could have included a sling ring portal, but I don't really see why they needed that per se, as it matches up with the Sanctum right next to it, of course, because it's a modular set. However, it is nice to get another version of him. He does come with his discs, as well as the same printing and the same figure overall from that Sanctum set, of course. He also comes with a hot dog, and there is a little joke in the instruction booklet where he says that he is in the set to show Hawkeye that mayo does not belong on hot dogs, which of course is a nod to the opening scene from Endgame, where Hawkeye and his family are having hot dogs out on their farm before they're now into the fourth floor, which is the Detention Cell floor, which I think looks really great here with that black floor with the translucent tiles, as well as all the grates there, which do look really nice. Of course, there is the Detention Cell right here, which can open up, which is very nice. You can fit one minifigure on the inside there. Of course, this is the same Detention Cell that was featured in the helicarrier when Loki is captured in the first Avengers film. However, they just transported it into the tower as an extra level, which I don't think is too bad. Of course, we also get a little newspaper there saying who is the Iron Man. A little weird, as I'm not totally sure why that's included, as at the end of Iron Man, they know who he is, really. However, it's not that big of a deal. Of course, at the back, we also do get a little control panel for Arnim Zola, which is a really cool detail there. I'm trying to take him out for you guys. And here he is. And this is really cool. Straight out of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, of course, with that sticker tile right there on the computer screen, as well as the little camera lens on the control panel down there, straight out of the movie. And it's a nice inclusion. I just don't really get why it's in the tower. You can also see a bucket in behind the detention center there, and I'm not totally sure what that's for, as well as another elevator with, behind it, a cup, as you guys will see right here. Guys, I will never build a Lego elevator ever again. However, due to the fact that there's another Easter egg in this thing, and I'm probably not going to be able to access it once everything's together. There's a little cup behind here. I don't know why. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why there's a cup behind here. But this is a very in-depth breakdown, so I have to tell you guys every little
And I don't really understand. It's behind this, so it's really, really hard to get a clear look at it as well as access it, which is why I guess it is closed off there. Of course, you do have the buttons, the up and down arrows, and some really nice stickers there that you don't get to really see as they're hidden by the detention cell. However, of course, it is closed by Hulk, who has punched a hole through the door, and there's all that caution tape there saying caution, out of order, which I think is really, really nice for this. And at this point in the build, you do take a break for the main tower, and you get to build the mini. Of course, the figure included with the Quinjet build is Nick Fury, coming with a gun in gray, a walkie-talkie, and the same printing that he's been using for years on years. And I don't think it's necessarily an issue, as he does look really, really good there, of course, with the nice torso printing there going on into the legs with the drapes of the jacket, as well as the scowling face expression. Of course, the eye patch also goes all the way around. A very solid. And here you have the Quinjet. Pretty basic and simple. However, what I do like is it is kind of based off of both of the Quinjets. Of course, the first version and the second version appearing in Age of Ultron. Of course, that one does not have the jets at the back. However, these jets are removable if you do want to, I guess, turn it into that version, which actually does look pretty accurate to what it does look like in. And of course, yes, these do move. There are 2 shield stickers on there, which do look nice. Of course, the thrusters do have some orange on them, and all around the build has this nice translucent blue highlights all throughout of it, giving it that powered up engine look, as well as you have the wheels on the bottom to make it roll. The wing flaps do fold up, which is very nice. You do have 2 stud shooters here, which do shoot 2 blue translucent little studs there, as well as in the middle you can of course see these turbines there, which they do a pretty good job at kind of micro. Of course, you also do get the little shield logos on those Nexonite shield pieces, which do look good. The cockpit opens up with 2 control panels and room for 1 figure. And finally, if you do lift up this little piece right here, there's a little storage compartment for some extra ammo. And now moving into the last section of the build, of course, the lounge and the helipad of the tower. First, the figures that you build, and the first one you do build is Wanda Maximoff, looking very, very cool here, of course. This is not the most accurate version to the one that appears in the tower. This, of course, is her Endgame and Infinity War look, which does look actually really good, though. I do enjoy this, and I didn't have the figure before this, so it is nice to have that. Of course, it's the same face expression from the Sanctum back in 2021, which I don't think is a huge issue. Of course, she does have the same build for her Power Blast pieces, which, again, I don't really understand. However, it is a nice inclusion overall to have that powers being represented. And we do get the nice skirt piece finally, which is a super cool inclusion. And she does come with this little 1x2 brick here in translucent clear that you can make it seem like she is hovering, which of course, is nice. Fitting with the section that you build, you also get Ultron, and this guy is so cool. This, of course, is his damaged Mark I version, and it is just a crazy, crazy thing that we have finally got this figure. Of course, right here on the front here, it's all new printing from the head down to the legs there with that weathered, destroyed Iron Legion look there. Of course, it is so menacing, and you do get the, I guess, the translucent hover blast pieces in that blue. Of course, the arms are mismatched to give it that more destroyed and just really weathered look. Of course, on the back, you do get all that weathered look right there with all the silver there, and just overall just an amazing figure in this set, and I hope this stays exclusive because this figure is going to be expensive. We also get War Machine, and he is looking very, very nice here. Of course, it is the same War Machine figure that's been appearing for a while now. However, it is just nice to have another one, and a different one. I have the one from the mech suit, and this is the first time getting a MCU accurate one, which is very nice. I wish he would have came with a hairpiece, however he didn't, which is a little bit of a disappointment. However, it's not that hard to fix. He does come with the red Power Blast pieces, not really Power Blast, but like the energy pieces
to simulate him flying. Of course, his backpack piece is simple and actually the same build that he's been using since his debut in 2013, I believe, with the Iron Man 3 sets. And that's actually not that bad. There is no dual-sided head, which is a little sad. I would like to see a little exclusive head there with what happened with Tony and his infrared kind of scanning on the inside of the final two figures. We of course get Pepper Potts with a little tablet right here with a little call sign for Tony, of course, right there, and a burger, of course, because Tony is always snacking, and of course as a nod to when he wanted a burger in the first Iron Man film. This of course is the same figure that we've been getting for a while, of course, of Pepper Potts. However, I do not have one, so it is nice to finally get one. Of course, she does have an extra face expression on the back there, and just a nice figure to have for the tower, especially as really it wouldn't be complete without her and Tony. And the final figure, this is Hawkeye, and this is one of the best figures in the set, of course. His torso print is just so good there. Of course, this is one of the first custom figures I ever drew. And it just looks crazy with that shield logo, of course, and the red and the gunmetal gray base for the torso is very strange, but I do enjoy it. I will probably be changing out the face, as I don't really think this one is super accurate. However, they do bring back his hairpiece here, which is very nice here, getting that a second time, as well as the legs are the same as Black Widow. He does come with his new bow piece released in the Marvel CMF Series 2, and a quiver on the back, of course. A very nice figure, and he does have his red glove. And here is the final floor, the helipad. Of course, it is going to be a bit darker as my lights don't really reach up here, but this is the helipad, of course. Out here on the front is the main helipad. Of course, you do have room to store the Quinjet here, which is very nice. This does flap up so you can fit it in, which is very cool. It does look super big because it's probably not to scale. However, that just folds down and it sits nicely on top of there. Of course, you do have these bar pieces which do wrap around, giving it that nice look there, as well as really just the build itself. You add in all the trimming, which I think is really nice and just adds such a clean look, as well as you do end up building this curve to it with all the translucent pieces intertwined there. It looks incredible, as well as the trim around here, which does go all the way around the build. Also at the back side here, you do finish trimming it off. Of course, as you can see, I didn't press down on all the pieces hard enough. You do build this little triangular kind of look right here, of course, which is super cool and clean. The windows going all the way around, and of course these curved pieces just finishing it off and making it look super. Taking this out so we can get a better look at what is inside this section of the build here. Looking in at the bird's eye view, this of course is the Avengers Lounge here. Of course, you can see the two couches, the table with on it the Battle of New York newspaper there, Thor's hammer, and a little glass for the drinks at the back. Of course, you do have milk and a few other drinks. I can't believe what they'd be drinking, but this of course is the little hangout area from Avengers Age of Ultron. Next to the two couches, in one side you do have a little lamp, which does look really good, and on the other side a plant, which just adds a little bit of greenery. The first TV that you do put stickers on is right behind this couch, and it just shows a little search history of how to lift heavy stuff, of course, to show and just add a little nod to how they all tried to lift Thor's hammer in the movie. A very funny little addition, as well as you see some Hydra files being deleted, which of course is a nod to how Hydra took over S.H.I.E.L.D. in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And of course next to it, it says who is watching. Of course, this is a nod to, of course, all the Avengers right here. You have green for Hulk, TO for Thor Odinson, and blue for Steve Rogers, of course, with the SR, and red for Tony Stark. The final TV screen, which is a little news report on the Hulk going crazy. This just in, Hulk smashes again. Of course, you have a little news guy right there, which is really cool. And beneath it, the weather update, who is Winter Soldier. I'm not totally sure why that's a winter update, but it is really nice that we do get a nod to a bunch of the Winter Soldier films. As the Winter Soldier, we never really got a set based off. There you guys have it. That is part 2 of the Avengers Tower build. Of course, part 3 will be the last section and will be posted throughout the week, of course, at the end of the week, with all these videos being compiled. If you guys did go on to enjoy the video, please make sure to subscribe and like the video, as it shows me what you guys like to see, as well as it pushes me out to more people who may also enjoy my content. But anyways, guys, thanks.